Hello everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker. I'm in my writing shirt, my flannel shirt. Is it actually flannel? I guess so. And it's not just the design of it. I've been writing a lot, and that's good. Been I just want to make a video just talking about what I'm doing. Why not? And here's why I wanted to make it, because I didn't feel like making it. I thought, do I want to? Well, I don't know if I have a good topic. Oh, that's why I should, because I should push myself to do more instead of just goofing around on the internet, looking at whatever's on IMDb today. That's my social media. Is I just log into my IMDb account and see whatever IMDb throws at me. Top 50 movies about grocery stores or whatever. I bet that's an actual list on there. I feel like this whole last week has been nonstop, like no rest in a way. And by the way, this is like the work I do, it's no mental rest. Because the work I'm doing, it's nowhere near as exhausting as like Frank, and no job will ever be as brutal as working in a movie theater and working the concession stand with like 4,000 people coming in some days, and it seemed like almost every person getting stuff from the concessions and cleaning theaters. It was sometimes it was quite nightmarish dealing with customers. I been so aside from work and riding my bike, and I realized I got to eat more protein. Like I'm losing weight, which is great, but I have to eat more protein because my legs are like getting kind of worn out. I'm only riding like 6 miles a day for biking. That's not a lot of miles. It's only my third week into it though, so I'm still kind of doing it. And I do a lot of leg workouts in the morning, even aside from that. So my legs aren't sore. It's just they're a little bit tired. So this weekend I'm trying to give them a break, even though I walked like a mile this morning to do my morning shopping routine. But I don't know. Partly frustrated. Just I can't. I could, but I haven't been going out to anything, to events. I'm still kind of, first of all, just focused on writing, but also I'm kind of trying to avoid, going out while there's the pandemic surge, and I saw the numbers, it's going down. At the highest that I saw, I just stopped looking at it a lot, but it was like over 40,000 infections of COVID, or the corona zone, as Nathan Barnett calls it, or the Contra virus, as what's his name, Connor O'Malley calls it. Down to, I think I saw this morning or yesterday, like 15,000 a day, and the real number's got to be several times higher. But saw that and I'm like, is it worth it? Do I really want to, like, am I just going to an event and assuming that I won't get infected, or am I going and really ready for the fact that I could get sick from it? Yeah, even though I'm vaccinated, boosted, I'm basically immune from all disease now. I cannot die. Uh, but even so, yeah, just kind of wondering, should I, shouldn't I? I'll see if maybe there's a movie I want to see out tonight. But also, it's just time consuming to go out, spend money. For me to see a movie, I'd have to take a Lyft and spend like 12 or 14 bucks just to go to a theater nearby. And then, money for the ticket and everything. The whole thing is like a $50 night when I have Netflix here and even YouTube. By the way, Paul Schrader's film, I almost called it a flim, Affliction, is on YouTube free with Nick Nolte, Willem Dafoe, and James Coburn. Yeah, I think. And I've heard it's great. A therapist once recommended it to me. And it's free on YouTube, like legit free, from YouTube's movie service. And it's not on Netflix, so I want to check that out. Um, but yeah, just kind of frustrating, and it's not good for my depersonalization, derealization disorder, which thank goodness it's not a permanent thing. It's not a permanent affliction. Now, that's nice, tying it into the name of the movie. But it acts up, and I kind of dissociate and stuff when I can't talk to people much or can't be out a lot. So even talking like this is good, and also talking when I'm writing and talking out what the problems are with my story, like talking out scenes, like as if I was telling someone the story. Like, okay, here's how we start the movie. this character wants this. He tries this. He's completely shut down. He cannot do it. He's completely opposed. The other person will not give what he wants. So he goes to his job, and there something happens from something carries over. And I was doing that the other day, and that's when I got really depressed. I was like, oh crap, my story is just hitting a brick wall 3 minutes in. Probably not even that. But it's good. That pain, it like forces you to grow. It's like forcing your muscles to grow with pain. You got to push your, to every last rep that you can. Not always with workouts. That's what I've heard. It's like sometimes you don't always want to go to failure, but going to failure a lot is good. There's a certain strategy to sometimes you go to failure, sometimes you don't. But realizing that, I was like, okay, that's good. At least I know there's a problem. Whereas before I didn't know there was a problem. And I was so discouraged, and I was like, what am I going to do? Well, I got some ideas, wrote them down, put them into my Word document, or actually WPS document, because I don't want to pay for Microsoft Word. So WPS is a free word processor. And also it has a lot of other options where you'd have to pay for the subscription if you do all that. But I'm like, I'm just using the word processor. I'm not making greeting cards or anything. Although that would be interesting. If I learned how to make art and made greeting cards, would you all buy them? I'll just have pictures of me in flannel shirts. I'll make a calendar of it. Marie calendar. I got some of her foods that you can microwave today. But it's been up and like just relentlessly pushing myself. I'm surprised how much mental strain it feels like when I haven't been looking at social media much or YouTube or anything this week. Today and last night I was the worst at it, where I was looking at them. So I made myself stay up late and go sleep deprived. Still got up at 3:45 this morning, thinking I want to make this weekend sort of as long as possible by staying up late, doing a lot, even though it's painful and stuff, and getting a lot of writing done. And it makes me dissociate too when I look at too much of that social media. So cutting that out, my internet's off on my laptop. I'm going to be writing today, and then I have another class, writing class. So I'm looking forward to that, and then more writing, maybe a movie. Also, I should exercise. That helps clear up the DPDR. When I dissociate, it just means like literally like dissociating, like depersonalizing, disconnecting from my body. My thoughts get compulsive and very quick and rapid, and sort of like, like talking I get in my own head, and I'm like disconnected from things, and I can just forget what I was doing for the last 20 minutes. As far as forget what was I thinking about, like what was I doing, not literally forget like where I went or what, but forget like, whoa, what was I so upset about the last 30 minutes, just driving myself nuts, like talking through in my head the most miserable, like self-loathing thoughts about stuff that like doesn't even matter or doesn't make sense. So I realized, gotta exercise, gotta keep doing stuff. Got to keep, and part of that is pushing to make videos and feel comfortable in my body. Here's the muscle relaxation technique that I do as well. It's like I'll clench up some part of my body, so like I'll clench up my fists and arms for this, and I'll breathe in. You don't have to hold your breath, but I do because I don't know how to do it without it. And then like hold to 5 and then breathe out through your nose. So I was doing it with my mouth, but I should do it with my nose. I feel so much better after doing that. For real. Why didn't they teach this stuff in school instead of that Catherine garbage? No, the Catholic garbage. Can't even say words right. I have barely been speaking to people, except for, just what's necessary to go to the grocery store or stuff for work. Do it again. Wait, I did it through my mouth. And do some deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and use my stomach. Stroke my tie-dye shirt behind me. There you go. Stroke it. grab a tiny banana. It's too heavy. That was fun. And I don't know what else I can, if there's an event, maybe I'll go at the end of the month. The only reason I wouldn't want to is because I have to get up early in the morning, but Neil Hamburger is going to do a show at the end of the month, so I may as well give a little plug for him, whether I'm there or not, and plug for myself in the audience. Like, hey, if anybody wants to see me in the audience, maybe I'll go. I'll try to go. I went to one before, and yeah, I was tired the next day, but it wasn't a big deal. Like, I enjoy kind of working through being tired. So, the main thing I'm concerned about is just the whole, Corona zone situation. And hopefully the infections are way down by then. Zebulon is where he's performing at, and it's going to be... what was I going to say? They require you to be vaccinated when you go in. So that's cool, but afterwards, probably wouldn't stick around and try and hang out or eat or anything. Not that late, especially. I would just head out afterwards. So it's kind of, I want to stay out, and I don't even know if, like, I'll want to go up to people and talk to them. I feel like after comedy shows, sometimes I have, but I feel like people are in their own space and don't necessarily want... It depends. Last time I was there, I saw some people I recognized from an earlier Tim Heidecker show and talked to them for a while. And I did talk to somebody else at the last Neil Hamburger show, and it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. It was at the Zebulon. Tim Heidecker performed there as well, and it was so funny, and Natasha Leggero and a few other comedians. But it was so funny because Neil Hamburger was performing, and in the middle of his set, like, he had a quiet moment where he, like, finished a line and somebody dropped their glass and it shattered, and it was like, I could feel it, like, we all kind of, like, wanted to ignore it and just let Neil Hamburger keep going, but it's like we couldn't not acknowledge. It was so weird to not acknowledge it, so people started laughing and clapping, and Neil Hamburger just was quiet and let everybody do that as if it was part of the show. But then someone else did it again, and then he, like, made a comment about it. It was really funny. Anyways, so gotta keep active, gotta keep busy, gotta keep putting up videos, because that's important for me. And maybe I should push myself to go out, but yeah, I don't know if that is... I'm saying, like, oh, it's healthy for me to go out, and yet I'm also saying, oh, it's actually potentially unhealthy with this pandemic situation. We're into, what, almost 2 full years of it, because in next month, March, that's when it began in 2020. Hard to believe. So, everybody get vaccinated if you can, and wear masks, please. You go to the N95 project, they do their own, like, verification to make sure that masks are legit and relatively affordable. I got a pack of 50 N95s, which are, like, the highest grade ones, except for respirators. 50 for $50, and then 50 KN95s, although the damn loops for the ears are too small for the box I got. For less than that, I forget. But anyways, whole point of this thing, been kind of fatigued and frustrated in a way with just the amount and pace of writing that I'm doing, and feeling like, am I really getting better at this? Am I making progress? But that's the wrong way to look at it. I've got to be just looking at it as, of course, like, it's not even about that. It's, am I pushing forward? Whoa, what was I about to say? Pushing forward and being open to the possibilities in this story I'm writing, and being open to where I'm wrong or where I'm being too narrow-minded. And again, I'll say the same thing I said in a previous video. Something I've loved doing lately is looking up interviews with some of my favorite screenwriters. 2 big ones I've been looking at lately, Aaron Sorkin and Paul Schrader. And a good way to find quality interviews with them is search their name and interview on YouTube, but then filter it by duration so that you don't just get the same like 3 most popular interviews with them. You get these ones with like a few hundred views or a few thousand views that are just getting into talking about their process and how they learn to write. They both have very different, Paul Schrader and Aaron Sorkin in particular, have very different processes. Paul Schrader's, it's so interesting. It's like mythic the way he talks about it. And of course, you know, it has to do with the allure of watching someone on a screen and, you know, imagining, oh, they wrote, you know, Raging Bull and Bringing Out the Dead and all these movies, Taxi Driver. And of course, all these other ones, First Reformed. Man, what an amazing film. Oh, neighbor started up his motorcycle. And anyways, it's cool to see, and I am learning from it all. And it's not just like, oh, it's the nice sound bites. And even the older interviews I listen to again sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I learned things that I can use to even slightly tweak what I'm doing with my writing process, because I experiment with different techniques as well. As far as like, you know, certain points I'm just writing out possibilities for the story. Certain points I'm writing journals as the characters in the story. I'm writing out scenes from their life that aren't in the movie, or I'm just talking it out, or I'm writing out scenes without any outline, or I'm just outlining, or I'm outlining backwards. To make sure everything's connected. My hands hurt. I don't know what it is. Maybe from holding my handlebars so much. If anyone has any tips for keeping the handlebars from rolling back, because I stand up on my bike for a good amount of time, especially if I'm going uphill and I have to pedal hard, let me know. I tried tightening it with a multi-tool as tight as humanly possible, but I can see after a few days it starts to get loose, so I'm thinking about getting it in just the right position and maybe putting some kind of super glue on there, or I don't know, go to a bike shop and ask them. But anyways, I've been just constantly going at this, and I'm so looking forward to like just being out with people, like just doing stuff with others. My goodness, that'll be nice. It's just so expensive to do anything, but you know, I can't really complain too much, because before I couldn't afford to do anything. Now I'm just saying, well, it's expensive. So anyways, I'm very lucky to be able to make these videos and have all these viewers. I just look at it lately, I'm like, even if I get over 100 viewers, that's incredible. 100 people, I never have an audience of 100 people in real life. So anyways, gotta keep writing. Got a ton of dust in this dustpan just from sitting here. So I gotta clean up my dust, and oh shit, I'm eating that guy's dust. And got to keep writing, and then I'm going to have class in a little bit. So thanks for watching, everyone.